كثير طيب مبارك فيه كما يحب ربنا ويرضى أما بعد يا معشر المسلمين. So we want to mention Bismillahi Kareem a benefit with regards to what the disbelievers said about the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the refutation of their word and their ultimate destiny. Allah tells us about the disbelievers' stubborn resistance to and rejection of the truth with no proof or evidence for doing so. So their excuse was, as they said, مَا لِهَذَا الرَّسُولِ يَأْكُلُ طَعَامٍ. Why does this messenger eat food? Meaning, as we eat. And why does he need food as we need it? وقال جل وعلا ويمشي في الأسواق, and walk about in the earths, or they walk about in the market. He walk about in the markets means he walks around and goes there often seeking trade and earning a living. لولا أنزل إليه ملك فيكون معه نذيرا. And why is not an angel sent down to him to be a warner with him? They were saying, why doesn't an angel come down to him from Allah to be a witness that what he is claiming is true? This is like the Fir'aun. This is like what Fir'aun was saying. Why then are not golden bracelets bestowed on him or angels sent down along with him? These people had similar mentalities and said the same kind of thing. They said, oh, yulqa ilayhi kanzu, or why has not a treasure been granted to him, meaning a treasure that he could spend on his needs and wants. Oh, takunu lahu jannatun ya'kulu minha, or why he does not have a garden whereof he may eat, meaning a garden that will go with him wherever he went. All of this is easy for Allah Azza wa Jalla, but he had a reason for not going. He had a reason for not doing any of these things, and with him is the perfect proof and argument. وَقَالَ الظَّالِمُونَ إِن تَتَّبِعُونَ إِلَّا رَجُلًا مَسْحُورًا. And the wrongdoers say, you follow none but a man bewitched. Allah Azza wa Jalla, he said, انظر كيف ضربوا لك الأمثال فضلوا. See how they coin similitudes for you, so they have gone astray. Meaning, they accuse you and belied you when they said that you were a sorcerer or bewitched or crazy or a liar or a poet. But all of these are false ideas. Everyone who has the slightest understanding will recognize that they are lying. وَمَاذَا? Allah Azza wa Jalla, he says, فضلوا. So they have gone astray from the path of guidance. فلا يستطيعون سبيلا. And they cannot find a path. Meaning, everyone who steps outside of the way of the truth and guidance have gone astray no matter what direction he takes, because the truth is one and his methodology is unified. Parts of it confirming other parts. Then Allah Azza wa Jalla, he tells his prophet that if he willed, he could bestow on him in this world something far better than what they were saying. وقال جل وعلا تبارك الذي إن شاء جعلك خيرا من ذلك جنة. Blessed be he who, if he wills, will assign you better than all that. Al-Mujahid rahimahullah ta'ala, he said this means in this world, and he said the Quraysh used to call every house that was made of stone a palace, whether it was large or small. نعم يا أيها الإخوة. So we see the stubbornness and the disbelievers. We see that which they are saying about the message of Allah alayhi salatu wasalam, their extremism and their wrongdoing and their stubbornness, and the ultimate place they will go to. نعم يا أيها الإخوة بل كذبوا بالساعة. They deny the hour. Means they say this in stubborn disbelief, not because they are seeking insight and guidance, but because their disbelief and the day of resurrection makes them say what they say. وَأَعْتَدَنَا, and we have prepared, meaning we have made ready, لِمَنْ كَذَّبَ بِالسَّاعَةِ سَعِيرًا, for those who deny the hour, a flaming fire. This means an unbearably hot and painful torment in the hellfire. إِذَا رَأَتْهُمْ, when it sees them, meaning when hell sees them, مِنْ مَكَانٍ بَعِيدٍ, from a far place, means from the place of gathering on the day of resurrection. سَمِعُوا لَهَا تَغَيِّذًا وَزَفِيرًا, they will hear its raging and its roaring. This means it will make those sounds out of hatred towards them, meaning the hellfire. It will make these sounds, these roaring sounds, out of hatred for those individuals. نَعْمِ أَيُّهَا النَّاسِ. This is like the saying of Allah Jalla wa Ala in Surah Al-Mulk. Allah Jalla wa Ala, he says, إِذَا أُلْقُوا فِيهَا سَمِعُوا لَهَا شَهِيقًا وَهِيَ تَفُورُ تَكَادُ تَمَيَّزُ مِنَ الْغَيْظِ. When they are cast therein, they will hear the terrible drawing of its breath as it blazes forth. They will hear the drawing of its breath as it blazes forth. It almost bursts up with fury. This means that parts of it almost separate from other parts because of its intent hatred towards those who disbelieve in Allah Azza wa Jalla. Meaning the fire, you will hear it making this sound. You will hear it making this raging, roaring sound because of the hatred towards those who disbelieve in Allah Azza wa Jalla. Naam ya ayyuhan nas. So it is mentioned that Imam Abu Ja'far ibn Jarih, he narrated that Ibn Abbas, he said a man will be dragged towards hell, which will be expanding and contracting And Ar-Rahman, Jalla wa Ala, he will say to it, what is the matter with you? And it will say, he is seeking refuge from me. So Allah Azza wa Jalla, he will say, let my servant go. Another man will be dragged towards hell, and he will say, oh Lord, I have never expected this from you. Allah will say, what do you expect? The man will say, I expected that your mercy would be great enough to include me. So Allah Azza wa Jalla, he will say, let my servant go. And another man will be dragged towards hell, and he will bray at him like a donkey braying at barley, braying at barley. Then it will give a moan that will instill fear in everyone. Its chain of narration, it is sahih. So this affair of the hellfire roaring and making a sound, it is geared towards those who disbelieve in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nas'al Allah salam al-afiyah. Nami ayyuhan nas, sami'u laha, taghayyidun wa zafira. They will hear is raging and is roaring. As Abdul Razak recorded that Ubayd ibn Umair said, ha wa ara imun, such that there will be no angel who is close to Allah Azza wa Jalla, and no prophet sent to mankind, but he will fall on his face, shaken over. Even Ibrahim alayhi salam will fall to his knees and say, oh Lord, I do not ask you for salvation this day except for myself. وَإِذَا عُلْقُوا مِنْهَا مَكَانًا ضَيِّقًا مُقَرَّنِينَ. And when they shall be thrown into a narrow place thereof, chained together. Al-Qatada rahimahullah ta'ala narrated from Abu Ayyub, that Abdullah ibn Amr, he said, like the point of a spear in its narrowness. Muqarraneen, chained together. Abu Salih, he said, this means tied from their shoulders. Da'u hunalika thubura. They will exclaim the end for destruction, means they will utter cries of woe and regret and sorrow. La tad'u yawma thubura wahida. Exclaim not today for one destruction. So this is the affair that will take place for those disbelievers, for those who disbelieve in the Messenger of Allah alayhi salatu wasalam, and what the disbelievers said about the Messenger of Allah alayhi salatu wasalam. And this is what we want to benefit with. Bithnillahi tabaraka wa ta'ala, wa sallallahu wa sallam ala rasulihi al-kareem wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'een. Wassalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.